All right, guys, we are on the last section of chapter 1, and we're going to do some applications and models, which of course means word problems. But we're not going to get into word problems today. Today we are just going to do some basic solving a right triangle that you guys should be really okay with, should not be rough at all. And then we'll get into some of the word problems tomorrow and the rest of the week. The word problems, again, though, I don't think are too bad. So I think this section should be fairly decent for you. So what we're going to work on today is solving. Ooh, I'm not writing. Try that again here. Solving a right. Oh, things are weird. Oh my gosh. Right triangle. I've got some settings I need to adjust. This is really crazy. Anyway, so what they're going to give us here is some information about a right triangle, and we're going to have to figure out like the missing information. Okay, so we have 3 sides, 3 angles, and we need to know all of their measurements. So let's start with just drawing a right triangle. Oh, that was lovely. All right, hold on. Okay, I think I'm better. Let's try this again. So we have a right, I still can't draw a straight line. That doesn't matter. Okay, but we've got a right triangle here, or at least it's supposed to be. And this section, they always use the convention that C is your right angle. So then lowercase c is your hypotenuse. And of course, they have to be opposite of their capital letter. So lowercase are sides, capitals are the angles, and C is the right angle, lowercase c is always the hypotenuse. Okay, so when you get to your homework, remember that. Okay, so the information they've given us that angle A is 34.2 degrees. They've given us that side B is 19.4 units, and that is it. Okay, so the easiest thing to solve for here would be what? Hopefully you're saying angle B. We know there's 180 degrees in a triangle, 90 degrees for this angle, so 180 minus 90 leaves you 90 degrees between the other 2 angles, and 90 degrees minus 34.2 degrees gives you 55.8 degrees for angle B. So this is angle B. Okay, and you can just go ahead and put that in. So there's your first answer. Now we also need to come up with sides A and C. Well, if we're looking at side A, you always want to work with, if they've given you one of the acute angles, use that angle just in case you made a mistake with the angle you solved for. So always use given information when possible versus information you solved for. So if we're solving for side A in relation to angle A, we also know this side. What trig function deals with the opposite and the adjacent? It's tangent. So tangent of, always take it of an angle, so of 34.2 degrees, equals your opposite side, which is A, we don't know, over B, which is 19.4. Okay? How do you solve that? Well, you'd have to multiply by 19.4 on both sides. So we get 19.4 times the tangent of 34.2 degrees equals side A. Go ahead and calculate that. Make sure your calculators are in degree mode for this one. And I believe you should get approximately rounded to the nearest tenth, 13.2 degrees. So there's your next answer. Nope, that's not degrees. That's the length of a side. Okay, so side A, 13.2. Lastly, we need side C. So now again, go back to your given angle, go back to your given side, and then the missing side. What trig function using angle A deals with this side and this side? Cosine, right? So cosine of 34.2 degrees equals the adjacent 19.4 over your C. How are you going to solve that? Different ways to get there. You might think, okay, I'm going to multiply both sides by C and then divide by cosine of 34.2. You could also, no, maybe I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so we multiply by C, and then in order to get, these would cancel, in order to get this by itself, the C by itself, we have to divide by cosine of 34.2. So hopefully you guys are pretty good with your algebra that we can just do 19.4 divided by cosine of 34.2 degrees. Go ahead and calculate that. Round to the nearest tenth. Okay, I'm getting 23.5. 23.5. And now I have solved my triangle because I know all three angles and all three sides. Okay, so that's all we're working on today. Let me give you another one. Right triangle. This side is 15. Let me label ABC here. Again, C is always your right angle. I'm not giving you the other two sides, and I'm giving you this angle, angle A, which is 20 degrees. Okay, so please pause the video, and you guys try and work this out, and then we'll come back and check. Okay, check your answers against mine. Hopefully mine are right. Hopefully yours are right. And hopefully this feels like a review. This is stuff you should have seen in geometry. So hopefully you're good with solving a right triangle. Okay, some homework for tonight. Bunch of solving triangles here. And then, like I said, we will get into more of the word problems tomorrow. All right, guys. How about it?